Hello everybody, welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. I want to talk to you about the Radiant Red Solera today. Now this is a Starward whiskey from Australia, and this was a single barrel pick that I did with them. This is available on WhiskeyDickPicks.com, but I want to talk to you about specifically why I chose this one. So a Solera system, for those of you that don't know, is basically a way for whiskey to go from one barrel to another with the kind of like concept, I mean, if you really think microscopically, it's factual, but the idea being that any whiskey that passes through there will have some bit of all the whiskeys that went through it prior. It's just a cool concept, and Solera systems are not talked about enough, and they're not used enough. I just find that they're very cool. In the case of this is roughly a little over 4 years old. It's 55.3% ABV, and it spends time in not only American casks, but also French oak casks. Now, I reviewed the Compass Box Oak Cross years and years and years ago, and ever since then, I was like, I love French oak. So when I talked to Starward, I thought to myself, I want to do a single barrel pick with you. I actually reached out to them. I said, do you even do single barrel picks? Which luckily they do. So I told them I wanted something unique, because who out there has even had Australian whiskey, right? There's very few of them. So something unique. I wanted something delicious. So this ends up being like super berry, and like we'll talk about the nosing and tasting notes in a little bit, but it's Australian. It is like a unique thing. Solera, it's high ABV, and it is red wine finished. It's not sherry, it's red wine finished. And it uses French oak. So it kind of checks all the boxes for me. But let's go ahead and just do a quick nosing and tasting, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this. So, on the nose here, this is a fun one. So it doesn't taste like, or it doesn't smell. You might expect this to be extremely fruity, and it is a little bit, but more so it's very sweet, and it actually has a lot of black cherry and kind of like a sweetness that reminds me of cola, to the point where if you were to smell this next to, say, like a cherry Coke, I think that you would see a lot of similarities. And I think that's really interesting. It gives it a totally unique smell to actually really anything else I've had. All right, cheers. Now this has such a great flavor. Let's just put this out there. I realize that I'm telling you about a single barrel that I did, but you also have watched this channel forever. I'm not just gonna BS you. It's more that I picked this because I loved it, right? The flavor here is like a sherry bomb. In the way that, you know, like if you had a scotch that was sherry finished, you'd be like, that's a sherry bomb. This is red wine, from Australia as well, which obviously makes great wine, but it is just so heavily into those red wine flavors. If you enjoy sherried scotches, this will absolutely be up your alley. Some of the flavors that you're getting here are, it's leaning heavily on that same cola black cherry flavor, but there's strawberries in here as well, and just a general like fresh berry fruity flavor. All in all, the alcohol isn't super strong. It doesn't take over anything. It's there and you can feel it, especially down here in your throat, but it's not super, it doesn't take over, right? It really makes room for a lot of those berry flavors. The price point on this, you guys know that price points are usually a huge sticking point for me in my reviews. I think this is an exceptionally fair price, and just knowing that this is coming all the way from Australia as well, that kind of lends to it. But I think the price here is as low as I can physically make it. I just want you guys to have this. So go ahead and check it out on Whiskey Dick Picks, and I hope you really enjoy it. Cheers.